Hi there, these comments are for LS, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-Step System to Pass a TOEFL IBT, and you are my TOEFL Writing Bootcamp student, one of my students this quarter. And I'm looking at your essay right now. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have. I think this is a pretty good essay. I may adjust the score when I get done error correcting it, but I'm putting it right now. I'm going to put you at about 24 points out of 30, or 3.75 out of 5. Okay, begin the first paragraph. I would just say all people. You can't say all of, or you say all of the, but all people have their own important characteristics or personalities to lead. If you say lead, you would say them in their lives. All right? Let's make this a little bit bigger here. You can see what I'm doing. Some people find honesty that honesty is the most important characteristic. And to avoid the comma splice, let's put a semicolon here, not a period. So go to Google, what is a comma splice, to learn more about this error. You say others think, intelligence, and I'm going to put a sense of humor. You forgot your verb here. Is the most sensitive. I would say essential or important works better here. Is the most essential characteristic in their successful lives, in my opinion. A sense of humor. I wouldn't say it would be, just say is. So a sense of humor is the best characteristic of a person who wants to be a leader. I wouldn't even say in this life. That's a little bit wordy. Go to Google for this one, how to be more concise in academic writing, and that will help you a little bit more with the conciseness issue. A sense of humor is the best characteristic of a person who wants to be a leader because a sense of humor helps in a difficult situation, keeps a person in a good mood, I'm going to get rid of good mood and enthusiastic. I think is kind of similar. So we'll say in an enthusiastic mood and allows instead of saying person, you could say him or her too. And you need to use the gerund, no, the infinitive here. Okay, so go to Google on this one, how to use gerunds and infinitives. You can also go to my website under the grammar section. I have a good lesson on gerunds and infinitives. It allows him or her to achieve more. So first of all, the main thing is you actually have you have an introduction along with a 3-point thesis. So that's a good thing. In your second paragraph, you're using, I'm going to say a sense of humor. You're bringing this up for the first time in the paragraph, so it's probably better to start with a. A sense of humor is, instead of using the superlative, is a valuable personal characteristic in complex situations. Again here, for singular and plural nouns, go to Google and type in the keywords singular and plural count nouns so that you can learn a little bit more about that. For example, if a person has a sense of humor, he or she will look at every difficulty, I'm going to say positively. This goes back to making sure you're not using unnecessary words. I'm going to change this to will try. So you're saying he or she will look at every difficult situation positively, or will try to find out any potential sign, maybe of complications. Okay, what we want to do here is, this is the idea I've been kind of hitting with you, is you need a little bit more detail in these paragraphs. Instead of adding to what you've already said, I don't think that's a good idea. We need to develop this paragraph with a specific example, and don't even bring up the other idea, right? So what could we do here? Let me show you an example. So then we could use an example like this. For instance, if a marketing team is trying to come up with a new slogan to help sell one of its products, which could be a challenging task to say the least, a person with a sense of humor could set a positive tone. Due to this team member's sense of humor, the team might be able to come up with a new idea that will help sell the product and at the same time demonstrate the team's creativity. And let's get rid of that, and then we can probably use this. And this is, let's make it a little more formal. We'll say something like, therefore, maybe we change this to can set a positive tone. Therefore, you could say this: it is very nice to work with people with a good sense of humor due to their ability to solve You could probably say that. I think we're pretty good there. So the key here is, I've told you about this before, you want to have a detail here. You really need to develop a general idea you're saying in that paragraph, and that's going to help strengthen your argument. Your next paragraph, you say, additionally, people with a good sense of humor have and would you say in the thesis again here, so they're enthusiastic, right? So let's focus on that. A little bit too wordy here, right? Have enthusiasm. Contagious enthusiasm. Now, you talked about this with any difficult task can risk her life, whatever. You kind of said that here. So we're saying here that a sense of humor is valuable in complex situations, and then we illustrated that through the example. Let me see if I can show you what you can do to develop this idea. Maybe if we said this. Could probably say that. In this particular paragraph, I'm developing it with a more specific detail. So the reason is I'm trying to show you how to have more depth and complexity of thought to your writing. So it says, additionally, people with a good sense of humor have a contagious enthusiasm no matter what the job task is at hand. Workers at Amazon, you might say, for example, often have to prepare dozens of packages to be shipped hour after hour. A humorous worker will be positive and funny as she or he takes the orders, puts the contents inside of the packages, and then puts tape and shipping labels on as these boxes quickly move down the assembly line. This positive attitude could cause others to react similarly throughout the working day, and research shows that happy workers generally are more productive than unhappy ones. If the humorous person helps others to become more productive workers, soon this person will become a leader by being promoted to a supervisory position. You see what we did? So what I did is I added this and got rid of your general statements. I focused on a worker at Amazon. And guess what? I just made this up out of my brain. Just out of my brain. I have no idea about anybody at Amazon. All right? Okay, now let's go to your next paragraph. Let's see what we have. So we've developed these paragraphs a little bit more. Yeah, I think I'm gonna adjust your score briefly because I think you need a little bit more depth to your paragraph. So I'm gonna change your initial score 3.5 to 3.75 to 22 points out of 30. Okay, let's go to the last one. So people with a good sense of humor as a characteristic maybe can achieve more in their lives. For example, we're going to get rid of this, right? So we have most studies show, and then we'll put how here. How humorous most studies show how humorous persons easily find better paying. I would change this to, maybe you can hyphen connect them together, better paying jobs. And can achieve more with a positive attitude for his or her work. You see, again, we got to get an example in there. So I'm going to give an example of an accounting firm this time. So I'm going to give you something else. The key is don't just make general statements in your paragraphs. You definitely need to support the, like I did in the previous paragraphs, let's put a more specific example in here to develop this topic in more detail. Finally, people with a good sense of humor as a characteristic can achieve more in their lives. For example, most studies show how humorous persons easily find better paying jobs and can achieve more with positive attitude. I'm going to say for their work because I said persons, right? To illustrate, an accountant who is positive and funny may be able to work in a higher level position because management may believe that she or he can inspire others to enjoy their work. Hence, because of that person's sense of humor, she or he was promoted to a higher level position, which will put this person on track to becoming the next chief financial officer of the company. Okay, so you say in conclusion. We usually don't put the article here. We're just saying in conclusion. People have important characteristics. Put an S here to be successful. And here, we need to end this sentence so you don't have a comma splice. Again, go to Google. What is a comma splice? Make sure you can identify it and you know how to repair this kind of sentence. So you say, for me, the most important one is a sense of humor because of good attitude, enthusiasm, and achievement. Okay, I think overall, the main thing, and this is the second essay I'm error correcting for you, the second and the last one, right? So the main thing for you is I want you to leave these comments with this idea. There's always one or two things that you can do that definitely will have a very big impact on helping you to improve your writing. And that's what it's all about. It's not just getting a high score in the TOEFL exam, but it's being able to support your ideas with details and things. That's kind of what we're saying, right? So for you, that's the main thing is you do a pretty good job organizing your writing. You have a thesis. You have clearly marked topic sentences, and that's good. However, you need to improve on the detail information that you're putting in your body paragraphs so that you have more depth and complexity of thought to your ideas. And that's how you can take what you wrote, which is a score 3.5 out of 5. That's exactly how you can get a score of 5.5 out of 5 or 30 points out of 30. Do you see what I'm saying? Those are my comments right now. So let's take a look one more time here. So remember, you were maybe 320, 350 words or so. So now we're at almost 500. Why? Because I added a specific detail for each of those paragraphs. Okay, all people have their own important characteristics or personalities to lead them in their lives. Some people find that honesty is the most important characteristic. Others think intelligence and a sense of humor is the most essential characteristic in their successful lives. In my opinion, a sense of humor is the best characteristic of a person who wants to be a leader because a sense of humor helps in a difficult situation, keeps a person in an enthusiastic mood, and allows him or her to achieve more. All right, our next paragraph. First, a sense of humor is a valuable personal characteristic in complex situations. For example, we have, if a person has a sense of humor, he or she will look at every difficult situation positively or will try to find out any potential sign of complications. For instance, if a marketing team is trying to come up with a new slogan to help sell one of its products, which could be a challenging task to say the least, a person with a sense of humor can set a positive tone. Due to this team member's sense of humor, the team might be able to come up with a new idea that will help sell the product and at the same time demonstrate the team's creativity. Therefore, it is very nice to work with people with a good sense of humor due to their abilities. I'm going to say with good sense, I guess you can say it like that. Due to their abilities, maybe make this plural, to solve problems, maybe with positive attitudes. Make these all plural here. Abilities, problems, attitudes. Okay, additionally, people with a good sense of humor have a contagious enthusiasm no matter what the job task is at hand. Workers at Amazon, for example, often have to prepare dozens of packages to be shipped hour after hour. A humorous worker will be positive and funny as she or he takes the orders, put the contents inside of the packages, and then puts tape and shipping labels on as these boxes quickly move down the assembly line. This positive attitude could cause others to react similarly throughout the working day, and research shows that happy workers generally are more productive than unhappy ones. If the humorous person helps others to become more productive workers, soon this person will become a leader by being promoted to a supervisory position. All right? Finally, people with a good sense of humor as a characteristic can achieve more in their lives. For example, most studies show how humorous persons can easily find better paying jobs and can achieve more with a positive attitude for their work. To illustrate, an accountant who is positive and funny may be able to work into a higher level position because management may believe that she or he can inspire others to enjoy their work. Hence, because of that person's sense of humor, she or he was promoted to a higher level position, which will put this person on track to becoming the next chief financial officer of the company. In conclusion, people have different characteristics to be successful. For me, the most important one is a sense of humor because of good attitude, enthusiasm, and achievement. And there we go. So that is it. So I took what you wrote and I made some changes. And you could actually, based on my restructuring of your essay, this would give you a score of 5.5 out of 5 or 30 points out of 30. And the main difference, like I said before, is I simply added a specific detail for each body paragraph. And then I spent maybe 30 to 50 words developing that one point. That's really the only difference that I made with my writing and then yours. So that's what you want to remember for your TOEFL writing, is to include specific details in each paragraph to help illustrate your ideas. Alrighty? And anybody else watching this video, for more information, go to onlinetoeflcourse.com, and guess what? Anybody at any time can join my course, and I will give you exactly the same kind of feedback you're seeing in this video.